Welcome back, everybody. My name is Dragagon, and this is Gregtech New Horizons. So in the last video, I talked about how I was going to go ahead and make the thermal armor, and I was going to figure out how I was going to do that. I have made the thermal armor. If you take a look at the recipe, it does take EV power, but only half an amp of EV power, and a bit of time ranging from 30 to 60 seconds between the boots and the chest plate. So what I decided to do was just stick my EV machine on top of my 4 large lithium batteries there, because the machine can draw fairly fast. I was able to pump it full of basically 2 amps of HV in order to give it the half an amp of EV that it was expecting, and I was able to craft those things. I then went ahead and took the rocket that I showed at the very end of the video and slapped it down. I have already fueled it. I have the fuel loader is here in my inventory, as well as 7 cans. It takes a little over 7 cans of fuel to do it, and so I grabbed a large steel fluid cell full of fuel as well, so that I can fill these guys back up once I get to Mars. But right now what I'm doing is I am building, I'm compressing some carbon so that I can run it through the lathe and then combine it with the glowstone dust in order to make some more of these glowstone torches. I don't have a bunch of them, but I do use them when I'm running through the dungeons. I still have 25 diesel cells here that I can use to recharge my copter pack, and so basically I am going to head to Mars. I'm going to go ahead and cut out. You guys probably don't need to watch me lifting off and choosing the planet, and so I'll have you join me back once again once I'm on the surface of the planet and have scouted out some of the veins. Let's see here for Mars. I want to say the big one for me right now is tungsten, but there are also a couple of other ores that we'll see if I can find while we're up there. So I'll see you back here in just a bit. Alrighty, everybody, I am back, and I am on the surface of Mars. I did quite a bit of scouting, my usual square block. One thing of interesting note, I went to the same spots that I had marked on the moon that were dungeons, and I don't know if it's with an updated pack or what, but the dungeons no longer spawn in the same spot on every world. I actually had a dungeon pop in right down here. Now, I haven't gone in and explored it yet, and in fact I'm refueling my rocket to head back home, and it looks like I need to fill up my air tank again. There we go. Yeah, I am going to head back, repair, refuel, do a bit of stuff. If I scroll out from the map, I found a really good spot right down here. It's got Desh. It's got the tungstate, which is really rare. I only found 2 when I was running through all of the stuff that I was looking for. Tungstate, there's one over here, and there's the one over here, but it's right next to some Desh. The arsenic is the other one that I was looking to get access to, and then the third one is this pitch blend. And so you can see there's some pitch blend, Desh, arsenic, some tungstate all the way down here. That was almost quite literally the last thing I found. I just went in a big square. Even though I had found that one, I wanted to complete the square. I'm kind of particular that way. I like to have square blocks. But I went and scouted out the dungeons, and nothing in those. It does get pitch black here, as you can see. Yeah, I am, like I say, going to head back to the home station and re-equip, and then make my way back here and start mining up those resources. In particular, that tungstate is the one that I am most looking forward to. So I will see you guys when I am either probably back at base once I've mined up these few veins using my HV miner here. One of the things I did before I left, you can see I upgraded one of my bags to the big backpack. Very handy. Finally decided, hey, I've got the titanium. There's no reason for me not to. So I went ahead and did that upgrade there. So let's see here. That should be everything. Let's do this real quick and hit the F key. All right, fully fueled. So we are going to grab the loader, and we are on our way out of here. I'll see you guys when I've got more to show. Alright guys, sorry, I forgot to start recording as I started traversing my the one dungeon I found, but I'm up and running now. I am hoping this is a fully properly formed dungeon. Oop, there we go. Excellent. Looks like it is. I am going to... What am I going to do? I am going to refill my copter pack. There we go. And I am going to put it into hover mode and take on the second dungeon boss here. There we go. As you can see, he shoots TNTs, and you have to knock them back into him. Not exactly the most fun or original monster, but it is what it is. Ouch. I don't know, I've never actually tried to shoot him with my crossbow. I don't think he can be, though. I've always had to knock the TNTs back when I was playing Project Ozone 2, so that would be definitely an interesting question, whether you have to do this or not. Got him. Snipe the little one. There we go. All right. Maybe I should not blow my loot backwards. There we go. Alright. Is that the way I came in? I think that is the way I came in. Nope, that's the way I came in. Alright, here we go. Onward to the chest. Hopefully there is... There we go. I don't know if that's been patched as well. I mentioned earlier that it looks like they've patched the dungeons so that they go elsewhere. There is my tier 3. Excellent. Alright, I am going to put these loots away. Those. And that. There we go. And grab out the last little bit here. I will take some name tags. You never know when name tags can come in handy. Enderman, Smelterman. Oh, interesting. Alright, so there we go. There is our tier 3 rocket. Check my oxygen. It's looking pretty good. Alright, so now I am going to real quick delve down into here. I do have my night vision goggles on. Oh, I thought for sure there was a cavern under here? I hear some silverfish or something. Ah, there we are. Yes, much better. Alright, so this is nice because now I can get some of that other quest that it wants me to get. Die, you. The other quest that it wants me to complete is to get... I don't like you guys. Is to get 256 of this mutagen that's sitting down under here. There we go. Oh, why did I do that? Accidentally pressed the Q button while I'm holding on to my crossbow. That's never a good thing. All right, so I am going to see if I can gather up some of this mutagen down here, and then if I can, I'll stick it into a couple of my liquid containers, just so that I can get that quest completed, and otherwise... Oh my. How did you fall through spawning wherever you did? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will see you guys back at, probably back at my mining base while I'm working on stuff. See you in a bit. Alright, we're back one last time here as I get ready to head off from Mars. I've got a backpack full of ores ranging from the lithium, scheelite, and where's the other one? Lithium, scheelite, and tungstate from the tungstate one, some pitch blende and uranite from... I just did some manual mining of one of the pitch blende, not that one. There's another one that's down... where is it? Right here. This one, I mined out that one, and then of course I have the desh. Scheelite is in with the desh. And I think that's it. And there's some tungstate in with the desh. So I grabbed everything I could. I'm loading my rocket back up right now. I found a second dungeon right down here, which I went and picked up a second tier 3 rocket, so I can convert that into either the cargo rocket or the astro miner, depending on what I want to do. I did not find a third one. As you can see, I did a little bit of exploring and running around. Yeah, no, that was where a meteorite hit. I did a little bit of exploring and running around trying to find another dungeon. Not terribly far, just because I wanted to finish up on this planet. I ended up getting 2 more medium oxygen tanks while I was killing mobs. So that was pretty handy. And then, of course, I have all these... impures and crushed ores, thanks to Moron with Machine Guns update to add more tiny piles to each of the ore sites. And so that is everything for this planet. I'm going to head back to my base, recharge and refuel a bit, and then I'm actually going to go to, if we look at the quest, they want us to go to Deimos and to Phobos. Both of those planets have ores that we can make use of, so I may just go to Phobos real quick, pick up those things, and then head over to Deimos and start digging around, doing my same 10 by 10 ore find, and see if we can find the ores that are unique to that planet. And then we will call it a good, successful tier 2. And then I'll be working mainly on automation back at the base. So probably you'll join me on Deimos as I've done a little bit more looking around, and we will catch you guys then. All right, everybody. I landed on, what is this, Deimos? Yeah, Deimos. And dug down, and the first thing I ran into was the rarest vein I was trying to find, which is the uranium vein. So very helpful to have found that. I'm going to keep on digging around. As you can see, I've got my initial spots marked out, so I will keep going until I find the few other veins that I'm looking for. All right, everybody, I am back one last time, and I really lucked out with this seed. If I pull up my map, I came in, my home spot is right here. I dug around in the initial 3x3 and ended up with uranium and oraholican, almost right next to each other. And then I plotted out the next spots. Actually, I mined this one out, ended up here, and so I went up here and just started my way around and ran into draconium and just finished off the square with this one last one. So I've got the uranium, the pure uranium mine, I've got the oraholican, and I've got draconium, all within a chunk of each other. Or, sorry, I should say within a GT ore vein chunk of each other. So very nice, very quick and easy. I've already plopped down my miner to get started mining down into the uranium. So I am definitely looking forward to pulling out all three of these veins and making it back to base. I'll check the time after this. I may end up just not recording much more and just collecting up my stuff and taking it home. But either way, I am rather happy with this seed for this planet, since both of those veins are right there, right near a uranium chunk, without me having to go out to my usual 10 by 10 set of chunks. So I'm going to park it here, fend off the mobs while I mine up all this stuff. See you in a bit. Alright, I am finally done. It's taken me several hours. Still here on Deimos. I went and mined up the uranium, the oraholican, and the draconium, and I've got a nice pretty bag full of all kinds of stuff, primarily tin. Deimos, if you ever need tin, plenty of tin up there. A little bit of oraholican Galaxy Space version, but then I've got some sulfur because of bleed over, uranium, oraholican, tanzanite, pyrite and sphalerite are part of the sulfur vein, mirabilite, which is part of the that's part of the oraholican vein, some viroxaries, some uraninite from the uranium, and then over in this one I've got some more sulfur, some more tanzanite, some ventium, some jade, and of course the draconium, in addition to a little bit of electrotine there. So yeah, and then lots of small ores and everything, and then all the various subsurface rocks and everything. The Deimos subsurface rock is nice. It can be pulverized and then centrifuged, and you get a little bit of sulfuric acid out of it, so that's not too terrible. In any case, there we go. I have all of my fuel loaded up. That was good timing. And I am going to make my way back home, back to the overworld, where we can check things out. So I'll see you there. And I am back home once again. I've already unpacked everything. I went through all my bags, dumped everything into, well, not all the crushed ores and those kind of ores, but I stuck all the rest of my ores into here. There you can see, yeah, like the oraholican ore, the sulfur ore. So put everything into my wonderful thing of storage drawers over here. And now that I'm back home, I can begin taking a look at what I want to work on next. Now, the entire reason for making this trip was primarily to get that tungstate ore. That way I can get out some of the tungsten and I can focus on tungsten steel. So one of the first things that I will need from the tungsten steel, one, I'll need a transformer, and you'll see why here in a bit. So transformer, not too bad. I just need one of the EV to HV voltage transformers. I got to make the first ever of these power ICs because they've updated how the transformers and how the energy hatches and so on work. So just adding those things into what originally was just the regular transformer with the 4 gold cable and the 1 aluminum cable in order to go from EV down to HV So that's not too terrible. The other thing that I will need, however, is the electrolyzer. And the electrolyzer doesn't look too terrible. The reason I need it is, well, so I need the HV electrolyzer, which should be this guy right here. He takes one EV chip, one conveyor module, some aluminum cables, some annealed copper wire, the neodymium rod, as well as an EV machine hull, so that's not too terrible. I have one spare EV motor, so when I make the second EV motor, I'll have one extra rod for that, not too terrible. But the whole reason I need that is because if I try to get the tungsten itself, and actually let's look at the tungstate. The tungstate ore, where are ya? There it is, tungstate ore. So the tungstate ore will give me the crushed tungstate, which I can do a bunch of processing, but it all comes down to getting the regular tungstate, and then I have to put this through, that's right, an EV-powered electrolyzer. So one way or the other, I'm going to have to work on some HV power, enough to get through a transformer in order to power this poor electrolyzer so that I can start getting this tungsten dust, and then that can be combined in a mixer with HV power. It's just under HV power. Instead of being a normal 480, it's actually a 500 out of the 512 that you get at HV power. And then I can mix up some of the tungsten steel. And the whole reason I'm going after the tungsten steel is, of course, so that I can make some tungsten steel coils and upgrade both the EBF and the one of the two pyrolyze ovens to make it work just a bit faster than what it's working off of right now, which I don't recall. I don't think I'm using nichrome. I think I'm using the ferro, the not cupronickel, but the other one. And so because of that, I can basically double its speed for free by moving up to these tungsten steel coils. So that's really where I'm going to cut this episode here. I'm going to begin working on the components, get that EV electrolyzer up and running, and try and break down some tungsten for the next time that you guys join me. So hopefully I will see you then. Till then.